Right, here we are in the back of the car. Here's your air compressor. This is a compressor that puts the pressure in the system to pump up the airbags, and it's only held down by 3 fixings, one here, and one up there, and the connections for it are over there. We've got an air line coming in here, and we've got an electrical connector. And so what we're going to do is just undo these fixings, unplug those, and then we're going to turn this beast over and have a look inside, and I'll show you what's inside it and how we're going to fix it, hopefully. I do honestly think I know what's wrong with this. We'll find out in about an hour from now. That's tight. This has obviously been messed around with before, because that's not the right bolt. But it's nice to see someone has been in here and done a little preservation work and dealt with the odd spots of rust that were in here. There's also a little bit of water in here which we'll probably have to ignore for now, but we'll come to and find why there's water in here at some point in the future. Because when you think about it, the only way water can get in here is either from above or below. So, and this car's not been driven, it's just been stood out here for a couple of weeks. So all the water must have come from above, in which case, I hate to say it, but I think it's got a leak. So we'll come to that. We will fix that. Right. And then these little old cable clips. I need the cutter for that one. That one. I should warn you, if you disconnect your compressor pump, as I've just done, with the battery still connected, when you restart it you're going to have even more faults. So make sure you've got a code reader so you can clear those faults, because it's going to register the pump's not there, it's open circuits and all kinds of things like that. So yeah, either disconnect the battery before you do this, or have your code reader ready. Go and get some wire cutters. We need wire cutters because one of the clips is broken and it's been replaced with a tie rod. There we go. Right, now this. Oh, it would lift off now if I'd actually undone all of the nuts. There we go. I managed to not undo that one. There we go. Right, 4 of those. Right, the pump is a kind of sealed unit. It's in this box so that you're not listening to it banging away in the back of the car all the time. I'm just going to peel that part away, and there is our pump. This is an electric motor. This is the actual moving pistony parts, and these are all electronic controls of reservoirs and so on, ultimately out through this pipe here, which is sending the pressure to the reservoir. So what we're going to do is we're going to undo these 3 fixings here, lift this out of the box, and once we've done that, then we can undo the bolts which sit it in this cradle. There's one there, there's another one around there, there's another one underneath. We undo those, we can lift this off of its cradle, which is this piece here, and then we can undo the bolts which secure the piston, the cylinder head to the block, and then we can get access to the piston itself, where there's a piston ring which I suspect is either cracked or severely worn, and we've got a spare for it, so that's what we're going to do. Let's see if we can prop you up somewhere so you can watch this all happening. Put this down like this, put you on there. Bring it a bit closer at the right moment. So, like most of the repairs I'm doing at the moment, we're working with basic tools and we're working on the drive. Working on the tailgate here is actually quite a nice way of working, I think. Particularly when the sun's shining on a winter's day. I think one of these pumps, if you were to try and buy one, they're 300 or 400 quid. What I'm about to show you, assuming all this goes correctly, which I hope it does, is you can repair this pump in very little time and for about 25 quid and get another decade of use out of it. So that's the pump, and what we've got to do now is remove this metal cradle from the other side, which is held on with these fixings here. These are all 10 mils. And there's one on the top there. I'm not going to assume you're stupid. I don't need to show you every nut and bolt, do I? You're actually quite smart people. You will need to disconnect some of these lines and wires and things to just make life a little bit easier. But if you've got any experience of working on these cars, you're going to know how to do that. Again, you don't need me to show you how to undo a plug. There's that one. Goes in there, that one goes in there. I've got this bit of tape falling off it. I'm just going to take that off because otherwise it's going to get lost. And I'm going to disconnect that pipe that way. And then I've done these before, so I don't really feel the need to document everything as I go, but if you've not done it before, just get your camera out and take some pictures before you start taking it apart, and that way you won't need to worry about how you put it back together again. Right, we need timber span for that, and we need Torx for that one. Have I got any Torx here? Am I going to I might not have any Torx here. We're having a bit of a problem with tools. Consider these to be the sort of roadside repairs, we're going to call it. Thankfully, a standard Allen key fits in there. So I'm undoing the two bolts that hold the cylinder head onto the block. It's just a little engine, this. And when we disconnect this, it's going to separate the motor from the body, like that. There we go. And this is where we're going to show you what's going on here. I think at this stage you'll want to come in a bit closer. So we've separated the cylinder head and reservoir from the electric motor, crank and conrod and piston. And so this is the piston, and it's got a little flappy valve on the top of it, like a two-stroke engine would have, and it's got this piston ring that's all the way around the piston there, and these are made out of phenolic material, and there's a gasket on here, and that's the bore. The bore on this one's actually really polished, and it's got some grooves in it. This one might actually be past its best. This might be too bad to repair. That'd be a shame, wouldn't it? I don't really see this is hard anodizing on an aluminium here, and in there, I don't know if you can see it, but the anodizing has been worn through, and we've got bare aluminium showing in that area on that side. I think ultimately this pump has had it. This has mechanically failed, not just sort of service items worn out. But we're going to do a get you home repair. So this is bagpiping Andy's compressor repair kit, and bagpiping Andy sends you a new piston ring and a couple of different gaskets depending on which version of the pump you've got, and some bolts and a tap, which we don't need. And that kit, I think, if you look on eBay, is 25 quid. We don't need that gasket. We need this one, and this one's going to replace the red one in there, which I'll need a pick to get out. That one comes out. New one, same diameter. The black one, it doesn't feel as thick as the red one that came out, but it's also harder. I think that's going to be fine. And anyway, I've used these kits many times, and every time I've used one of these kits, it's repaired the pump. Right, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to look really closely at this piston here, this bit here. So here's our new piston ring, and here's the old one, and you see that it's got specific cutouts on it which kind of overlap a little bit when it goes into the bore. The bore